When you look at the modern Sahara and the Arabian Peninsula, you see a landscape defined by extreme heat, towering sand dunes, and a near total absence of water. It is an environment that actively rejects life. For centuries, we viewed this massive expanse of sand as an eternal, impenetrable wall, a permanent geological fixture, keeping the civilizations of Africa, Asia, and Europe completely isolated from one another. But the biology on the ground contradicts that isolation. Apex predators like the lion, along with massive herbivores like elephants, are found natively in both Africa and parts of Asia. Neither of these large mammals can survive a trek across thousands of miles of dead desert. The human fossil record places our ancestors on both sides of this barrier during a time when the desert should have been impassable. A small, vulnerable population of early Homo sapiens managed to reach the Middle East and beyond, seemingly ignoring a 1,000-mile wall of sand. The map we rely on today is a snapshot of a temporary geological phase. Beneath the blistering sand lies an ancient green superhighway that once allowed life to move freely across the entire globe. Our planet tilts on its axis, and over millennia, this angle slightly wobbles. When it shifts, North Africa points directly at the sun. The intense solar rays bake the ground, causing the entire region to become significantly hotter. As the superheated air expands and violently rises into the upper atmosphere, it leaves a massive low-pressure void over the continent. To fill this void, the atmosphere draws in moisture-rich air from the Atlantic, Mediterranean, and Indian Oceans. This cascading atmospheric reaction generates relentless torrential monsoons. Heavy rain pours over the region for centuries, washing away the dry desert surface and allowing deep root systems to lock the sand in place. These mechanics of outer space engineer a sprawling biological empire on the ground. The desolate dunes are replaced by deep, roaring rivers and a dense, humid tropical canopy. This environmental flip is a reliable geological cycle. Over the last 8 million years, the planet has triggered this transformation at least 230 times, creating a 30,000-year window of heavy rainfall known as the African Humid Period. The recurring weather pattern blanketed the region in tall savanna grass. Massive animals that normally avoided the desert heat were suddenly able to walk across a continent-spanning green corridor, connecting Africa deep into Asia. Roughly 90,000 years ago, a newly evolved species encountered this open window. Early humans, previously confined to Central Africa, found the deadly northern barrier erased. They followed the deep river systems and carried basic stone tools, tracking migrating game straight through a forested Middle East. The expansion of our species across the globe relied on this perfectly timed celestial window. Early humans migrated through a temporary paradise engineered by the very tilt of the planet. But the planetary wobble is continuous. As the Earth eventually tilted back on its axis, the monsoons retreated to the oceans, the wet grasslands withered, and the loose sand returned. This climate reversal created a sudden environmental trap. The green highway evaporated, isolating the human populations who had spread deep into the corridor and cutting them off from the lands they left behind. Facing an expanding wasteland, humans fled the dying plains. They clustered densely along the only remaining reliable water sources, fertile havens strictly confined to the banks of the Nile, the Tigris, and the Euphrates rivers. The sudden influx of people around these shrinking oases caused immediate overcrowding. Wild game vanished, and the hunter-gatherer lifestyle became impossible to sustain for a population this large. Survival now required manual intervention in food production. Humans began systematically organizing fruit trees, domesticating bushes, and actively planting wild grains. Forced by the desert, they invented agriculture. To protect these concentrated food supplies from rivals and the encroaching sand, these populations had to organize labor, establish property laws, and build permanent defenses. These strategies required strict social hierarchies to function. Organizing the fields forced humans to construct massive mud brick cities, forging the first structured human kingdoms in Egypt and Babylon. Looking forward, the last African Humid Period ended roughly 8,000 years ago, But the orbital clock is still in motion. Tens of thousands of years from now, the planet will wobble on its axis again, and the monsoons will wash the sand away once more. The world's deadliest desert acted as a cosmic filter for our species. The disappearance of its lush green highway isolated a population of wandering apes and physically pressured them into inventing human civilization.